label Antifa because Trump wants to label Antifa, but I label myself as Insurgents USA, but for people's context, right?
Good morning, welcome back to America Floats. If you haven't already, subscribed, like this video, be ready to leave a comment below, and let's dive into John Earl Sullivan, because there is a new leaked audio tape, and we're going to get to that in a second. It looks like this. But I first wanted to show you this interview that John Sullivan of Insurgents USA gave in September. Just going to show you a clip. It's about an hour long, but this clip will only be 30 seconds. He describes the shift from BLM and Antifa protest to now not so peaceful protest, while the media is calling them peaceful. So just take a listen. This is from September 12th of 2020, before the election, in John Sullivan's own words.
Is when I was just marching on the streets and wanting, to have a peaceful protest to bring about a peaceful resolution to the situations at hand. But I get arrested for rioting and criminal mischief just for marching on the streets. And so from those few altercations or incidences, I have found myself and my viewpoints shift to start saying, I want to abolish the police, in a sense that we need something different. We need something new. We need something that is not what is currently in place, because it's an old system that is broken and we need to change it with the times. You can say that you've changed policies, right? People can say that, but as far as the overall system, I feel it's systemically corrupt. And that's what I believe as far as the police and law enforcement go. And as far as corporate America, for myself, like, I know there's a lot of racial discrimination that.
Okay, so you've heard enough from him in that interview with Mormon and the Bandit. Remember, this guy's from Utah. So let's just take a look. Let's see, if you Google John Sullivan, what do you get? In chronological order, you see this article from the Washington Post that says he's just a man who shot the video. So he isn't a rioter, protester, insurgent, domestic terrorist. They're not labeling him any of those things. He is the man who shot the video of the fatal Capitol shooting. He was arrested, and he remains the focus of a political storm. So they're paving the way for this person to be later named innocent or not involved. Now you have this one. A federal magistrate refusing to ban John Sullivan from using Facebook or Twitter. But they did ask that he no longer be a part of Insurgents USA. It says on the 16th of this month, the court ordered John Sullivan of Utah, a videographer. Oh, he just takes video of the frontline action of the worst attack since 9/11, to stop work with the Insurgents USA. If you name your company Insurgents USA, that kind of strikes like an ISIS vibe to me. What was ISIS anyway? It was the Islamic State, right? It was the caliphate they were trying to install across the Middle East. Insurgents USA is as good to me as ISIS USA. That's how that sounds. And so this judge just tells this guy, you can stay on social media, stay active, do your activism, but just don't be a part of Insurgents USA anymore. And it says he's making videos telling viewers how to create Molotov cocktails, evade identification by police. And we'll get to him saying this in his own words in a second. But this, I am rejecting the broader prohibition of Twitter and Facebook on encrypted social media, says the judge. So all of this just means he's allowed to be on social media, but he's not allowed to work for Insurgents USA anymore. The president, while still in office, was removed from Twitter, Facebook, and other social media sites. But John Sullivan, leading the way in a riot and an insurgency, he's totally fine. He's also been taking money. This was the big question the other day. Why is John Sullivan taking $35,000 each from these different companies? CNN, MSNBC, no doubt you're going to see ABC will have made a payment. All of these different companies making payments to buy what would be the same video. One would buy it and publish it. So why are each of them buying the same video when now it's public information? You can use that video with courtesy, right? They're buying the rights to the video the same. This doesn't make any sense. It says a Utah man, that's John, who faces federal criminal charges for alleged actions during the riot, sold the video of the incursion to major news outlets for thousands of dollars. And so maybe it's totally fine. Maybe it's totally fine that he sells the same video to multiple different sources. He sold it to an Australian broadcasting corporation for $2,300, $5,000 for the footage at the siege for a New York-based production company. So okay, fine. Are you allowed to sell the same footage? Is a paparazzo allowed to sell the same picture to multiple different sites over and over again, and just sell the rights over? I don't know. I don't know that that's legal, but it's odd that he is selling what would be considered evidence to media companies for them to broadcast and push out propaganda, which is exactly what's happened. So you heard this piece. This is from September, and this is when he's kind of saying, here's how I got radicalized. We were trying to do things peacefully. Then we still got arrested, so we just realized, you know what? Let's just not be peaceful at all. And then you have this. And I'll play this without interruption here in just a second. But I made some notes. So listen for these things that he says. John Sullivan's father set him up as an agent provocateur because his father conducts psyops. His father doesn't do cop shit. He does intelligence work. And so his father does psyop work, false flags, and other incidents. And John, well, he's got an inside scoop. He's got people, he says. Now, here's what's really important. He says, and this is a quote, "I knew we were going to storm the Capitol. I knew we were going to storm the Capitol." So he is admitting he's a part of BLM, and he says Trump calls them Antifa because Trump wants to label them Antifa, but whatever. Call them what you want. They knew they were going in. So this is predetermined, premeditated. And then he says, I have resources. He doesn't say sources. He does not say, I have sources. I have sources of information. He says, I have resources. That means money, capital, manpower, communications, encryption, otherwise. Then he says, it's my people, my organization, Insurgents USA, that they are a collective of people, and that this is important. They disassociate from their identities in order to commit crimes. So he discusses how he's not John Earl Sullivan in the Insurgency USA communications. Even though they're encrypted, he goes by Jaden X. He disassociates from John. And so then John is an activist. See? John is just a videographer. John just runs a company online. John can sell his information because it's not evidence. John can give interviews and talk about how he's been radicalized, and now John will bury himself because he doesn't realize he's being recorded by this person. Thank you for leaking this information, and without further ado, here's the video. Make sure you share this one, like it, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and do everything else that you can do after you listen to this video to keep America afloat.
I'm of the opinion that what we saw yesterday was very much by design, that we did have agent provocateurs, and I'm of the opinion that you're one of them.
Interesting. Really interesting on that. Why do you think I'm one of them?
It's because your father is. Your father's psyops, man.
So you've met my dad, okay? So
Kind of further elaborates my point.
just explain to you, because I know people are going to storm the Capitol. I'm on chats, I'm on underground chats, like, I have my resources, There's not me, but I have people, right? And I'm not saying some fucking cop type shit. I'm saying my people in my organization, Insurgents USA, was a civil rights group that is Black Lives Matter, or if you want to label it Antifa because Trump wants to label it Antifa, but I label myself as Insurgents USA, but for people's context, right? Yeah, they are in chats. They can easily give me information on what's going on, and same with everybody else. But it's a collective of people. You can disassociate yourself. I have John Sullivan. I have Jaden X. That separates. I have Insurgents USA, civil rights organization. So it separates I separate my identity based on the specific role that I'm playing, right?
Is there really a separation?
There is a separation. There is a separation for sure, because I can't be in a crowd full of Trump supporters and say fuck the police or say the things that I would during my regular activism.